This is At the Extremes.
Beloved, welcome back to At the Extremes, a podcast about the extremes in our society. I'm Greg.
And I'm Serge.
We're back to talk more about Wranglerstar. And before we get into that, though, did you have anything from the week that you want to catch us up on, man?
It has happened. The school year has restarted, and so it's trying to get my focus back onto getting back into the grind. The glories of summer vacation are officially over. But I'm really happy we get to, finish my last day of freedom doing At the Extremes.
Hell yeah. How's I know we've been talking about this off air, and but working out, man. I know that's something that we're both reconfiguring and taking a look at. What's going on there?
For me, I had been in a really good groove for a while pre-summer break, but then summer break I've been getting it in. But I normally get up really early in the morning, like 4:30, 4:40 in the morning, and get to the gym at 5. It really sucks, and when you don't do it for a week, it just makes it that much harder. And so I've kind of gotten out of that habit. But we had talked about trying to set some goals and do some maxing out and just kind of coming up with some plans to just improve my overall strength. If you had listened to our story from the Bang Time Variety Hour, my biggest goal is to not get beat up by a high schooler. So I need to get strong enough that I don't get shoved around by ninth graders.
Yeah, that's a big deal. You can't have that happening to you. Well, what we can do, at least in the moment, is prepare you mentally. If we can't do it physically right now, we can at least do it mentally by talking about a guy who actually can help radicalize you to the point of violence if you wanted to. All right, so I guess we'll get back into Cody now. As the years have gone by, Cody's obvious conservative bent has started to branch off and mutate into more of a hardcore, conspiracy-minded, Second Amendment, shit hitting the fan, sovereign citizen type vibe. Think more prepper than homesteader.
Well, so for the those listeners that we have, what are sovereign citizens?
The scariest people in our country. They are people who do so if you've ever come across and you've actually sent over a couple of these really funny videos, basically like people who get pulled over by the police who don't show any form of identification because they're free to travel, it's like freedom of travel or something like that. Basically these people they look at like maritime law from like 1800s and go, well, that's what the actual, because oh god, there's so much to it, but like basically the United States government became a corporation according to these people a long time ago. So the laws that came after they became a corporation no longer don't apply to U.S. citizens. And it is absolutely mad.
It's a wormhole.
Oh, it is. Oh my God. It's so much fun to go down though.
Which is crazy to just say, yeah, that's not a law I'm going to follow.
Yeah. No, I choose not to follow that law.
Yeah.
I'm a sovereign citizen.
Must be nice.
Yeah, right. So Cody outlines himself taking the red pill about 10 years ago. If you look back, he started down that road about 10, 12 years ago. He's been training in prepper content well before COVID. But if you remember, I know that at least for me, when we were going through the initial phases of COVID and the shutdown and the lockdowns and all, we were storing paper towels and toilet paper and gallons of water. It's like the prepper.
God, really? You did?
Oh yeah. Like the prepper brain switched on as soon as something bad happened. And I think because his stuff is so well marketed on YouTube, a lot of people saw his shit and were like, oh yeah, no, this is the way. My prepper brain, fell into this hole of oh man, we need to have 2 months worth of toilet paper just in case the shit hits the fan.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So when it comes to just in your own personal life, when you go on a vacation, do you prepare everything for it? Like the itinerary where you're going to go?
Yeah.
So that brings you some sort of joy.
It brings me, not even joy as much as it just it helps calm my anxiety around travel. Right. I think because we're all searching for some kind of control element, it's a very easy thing of going, oh, okay, well, Monday we're doing this, Tuesday we're doing this, Wednesday we're doing this. And if I can lay it out and plan it out, then nothing can stop that thing, even though we both know that that's bullshit. But, when you look at this stuff, through a societal lens, Cody's prepper mind, he was justified as a result of COVID. And then like when COVID happened and everyone is sitting and clicking and scrolling on their screens, and all of a sudden like his content pops back up on your feed again, like it did for me, you go, oh wait, two things. This guy went way off the reservation, but two, like he's full blown prepper now. Like that's his thing. Like storable food, you know, gold buried around his property. We're talking like a guy who, he's a nut job. So I found an article on the Rolling Stone magazine, and they basically highlight this too. That Cody went from, and this is a quote, that Cody's gone from tool reviews to fortifying and supplying his home for the coming struggle, as he would put it. So here's an excellent example of what I mean. In this video, Cody walks the audience how to best defend your home from a crawl space.
So while you're prepping that, is he when he is prepping, is it for Armageddon, or is it just like a zombie apocalypse?
It's the Holy War.
Okay.
He's prepping for the Holy War. I mean, like he calls it the struggle, but he's essentially talking about
the rapture.
The rapture, also like economic. He's really into like the economic collapse idea. So
when the cities empty out because people are starving to death and they come to the country looking for your supplies, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your most reliable rifle. You're going to get a 60-round magazine, and you're going to fill that bad boy up with green tips.
Okay, two things. First and foremost.
Holy shit.
Yeah. He is loading a fully loaded jacket of bullets, ammunition into a gun on YouTube. YouTube is paying for this. So just as like a thing, like YouTube are complicit in this just as much as he is, in my mind. But that's a point we can come back to later. Oh, do you know what green tips are, by chance?
Kind of bullet.
It is, yeah. Don't feel any shame in this, because I didn't know what it was either until I looked it up. Green tips are basically like armor piercing,
like hollow point or whatever.
Yeah, they are used by like certain branches of the military, apparently, for extra penetration.
You're going to grab some hearing protection and an extra bag of magazines. Now follow me. You're going to bring this equipment into the crawl space. Modern foundations have vents or gun slits. 360 degrees of fire around your home. A machine gun bunker sitting underneath. If there's only two in the family, get in opposite corners. One can cover north and east, and the other can cover west and south. Leave the screens in place. This could prevent the filth from lobbing in a smoke grenade or tear gas. Remember this, a concrete foundation is not thick enough to protect you from 5.56 or AK-47. You need over a foot for that. But everything from here below is underground. If you were to lay down, this would be a tough nut to crack indeed.
Oof.
Yeah. You like that?
I don't.
I don't.
I don't like this transformation from the beginning to where we're at now.
Yeah. It's a very like stark, harsh line that all of a sudden like just comes up out of nowhere.
Well, and then, you know, in the previous episode we were talking about, you know, kind of feeling, you know, sorry for him and, you know, the difficulty he grew up and then just full on teaching people how to set up, you know, their houses when the government comes to try to, you know, steal your stuff.
Yeah. So when I was writing all this up, I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, how do I want to show this? Because the line is pretty quick and it comes out of nowhere. And you know, there is a possibility, because he has so much content, there is a possibility that like this has been a creeping thing that I just haven't caught to. But like when you see things like that, you go, Jesus Christ, we went from fucking talking about, you know, planing wood and how to best keep chainsaw blades sharp to your house is your bunker and you can kill a bunch of military people here if you want to. I'll show you how to. Yeah, it's harsh. It's harsh.
Crazy.
So to encourage your brain to melt just a little bit more, Sergio, I've curated a selection for you. Yeah.
I am my own personal Pandora.
I am your Doom Pandora is what I am. So apparently he used to be a greeter at Abercrombie and Fitch. He wasn't. He absolutely wasn't. But in the video, he says Abercrombie instead of Abercrombie because he knows that the YouTube algorithm will get him in trouble with Abercrombie if he says that. So he gets around it by like hinting at it, but not actually saying it.
In Fitch, I learned an incredibly useful skill. It helps to have a table with a straight edge, with the back facing up, fold back on itself until you meet the edge of the front hand pocket, and fold over and match up the seams on the cuff with the hem. Place your finger on the seam, fold over. When you're done, you should have a perfect V on the back. Now we're going to make 2 flops. On your second flop, match up the very top of the shoulders. Turn it so the hoodie's hanging off the edge of the table. Press
Pretty
down
good
here
folding technique, though, honestly.
Really?
Fold each corner over inside out. Work the hood down until it's flush with the top of the front hand pocket. And there you have it. This really needs to be part of your EDC for 2023. Black, navy, dark gray. No logos, no identifying marks. There's nothing that infuriates counter surveillance more than a man in a hoodie. And for good measure, don't forget a black COVID mask. Just slip in that pocket. Act accordingly.
Oof. Dude, he like accelerates so fast and so hard. Like,
I'm almost getting kind of the sense like it starts to get to like what he's doing right now is almost kind of obsessive compulsive. Mm-hmm. It's just like, how much shit do I have to produce and send out? Like I'm going to start showing people how to fold their clothes.
Oh, dude, there are so many, like, he has like, and we might talk about this in one of the episodes, but he has like a whole thing that he does about like pro host fit check, where he walks you through like what kind of jeans he's wearing and like shit, like twirls around like a fashion model to show you what he's
model or whatever.
Yeah, like this is what I'm wearing this week. Like it is just, but there's an underlying current to all that, and it is for a lot of the other stuff that I'll show you eventually. He's just shilling. He is just looking to earn money off his Amazon links because he talks about it all the fucking time.
So he gets like a kickback from Amazon for just, you have to have a certain amount of viewers. And
yep,
then
it's all a grift. Like it's all a grift.
Well, when you were talking about him modeling his clothes, I just was thinking of that Right Said Fred song. I'm too sexy for my tactical jacket.
Too sexy for the smoke grenades. I'm too sexy for the eventual coming onslaught from the government.
So sexy it hurts.
So bullet filled it hurts. Oh man. So Cody, he's a really he loves single mothers. And oh no, I'm lying too. He doesn't love single mothers. He thinks they're idiots, and that real men should be teaching your children about how to load a gun.
Because women aren't able to do it themselves.
No, they're
Beloved,
stupid.
here's something your single mom didn't teach you that you need to know. Cut a small circle, about an inch or so, from Velcro. Should look something like that. Now slide it into the pouch, and that little bit of friction you get is just enough where it won't fall out, but also it won't hang. Now 1 inch, that size, that dot or at or near it has been determined to be just about ideal for most guys.
So, it is like he's got like Kevlar, like chest vests that he sells on his website. Like all the things that he's showing you, you can buy directly through his links.
On Amazon?
Yeah, on Amazon, with the exception of guns and ammo. Like you can buy like Kevlar vests and things like that. Or like if it's not on Amazon, he's links to another like place that you can get it. How
much does a Kevlar vest cost?
I don't know. Genuinely, like let's take a look real quick.
$500 or something?
Probably not that much, if I'm being honest.
I mean, I know like with the SROs, the police that I work with, I mean, they have to walk around it all day. It's got to be pretty uncomfortable. I just imagine just being hot all the time.
Yeah. Let's see. Gun vests, Kevlar gun vests. You can get $629. Jesus Christ. All right. That's pretty pricey.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure they get more expensive the light. Well, 139.
Yeah, you can get a nice little plate carrier for $139. But if you're going to anticipate getting shot in the chest, wouldn't you want to go all out?
Well, that might be the good grift. Let's just charge the most amount of money that we can
for a cheap product. People get fucking blown away. Oh, Cody, you've done it again, you fucking glorious bastard. Oh man, we're gonna skip this clip here, the next one that I've got here. But remember back in episode 1, we were talking about how Cody really hates robot dogs.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he hates all kinds of robots, by the way. Like he talks about it way more than you'd think a human being would talk about robots and how you should take robots down. You'd think he's got like a George Jetson like house assistant the way he talks about robots. He wants to fuck them, I think.
This is the new Atlas robot from General Dynamics. When they arm this killing machine with M4s and flamethrowers, and they send these into our neighborhoods,
What do you think his
Here's how-
wait? What do you think his solution is? Before we get to it, what do you think his solution is to armed robots with M15s, M16s, and flamethrowers? What do you think you're gonna get from this guy?
Man,
This is a fun guessing game.
I feel like he could go along the lines of creating like your own explosive and like making your own dynamite and blowing them up.
So here's a funny story. I can't find the video anywhere, and I've actually went on like many subreddits to try to find this. He actually does walk you through how to outfit a Roomba with explosive dynamite.
Hell yeah.
But that got pulled down.
But that's a huge contradiction. He's using a robot.
Dog, I'm telling you, he loves robots. He has a love-hate relationship with robots. So what is your final guess on what he's gonna help bring down these walking, talking murder machines with? What do you think it is?
An anti-magnet gravitational pull.
No, you're a fucking idiot. It's rope.
You're going to drop big hunks of rope on it. Climbing rope, work rope, extension cords. If you live out in the country, get some fence pliers. Fence pliers, $20. You can cut through any fence and take any section of wire from anything, and you can wad that up and put that in its path. I don't care how clever it is, there's nothing that's gonna fight through a big old mess and hank of rope and wire.
Except for a machine that is built to murder you and light your entire home on fire. Cody, what are you talking about? You fucking loser. I'm pretty sure, I don't know. We've seen this in the movie. I think we've seen it. T-1000, he was like, you know what? Rope, chains, they don't matter. No. I'm a killing machine.
I'll turn my arm into a blade and cut your head off.
I think like sometimes like he sees these videos and then he goes home and he watches a bad 1980s movie about escaping from the city. What is it? Escape from New York? That's a movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's Escape from LA too. That I think with Kurt Russell.
Oh, yeah. That's a good movie. I haven't watched that in a while. Anyway, yeah, Cody, he's a lunatic, dude. Like,
So back to the question though, man. Is he? I mean, I guess we're going to continue to go on further and further down this rabbit hole. But is he fucking with us? Is it like, is he serious? Is he not serious? I guess we'll find out.
So, Sergio, after watching that, like, how's your brain doing? Like, you were talking just a bit off air just a second ago about like, this is really confusing.
It is really confusing. And it's just, at some point, when do people just turn it off? Like when people start talking about killer dog robots and robots coming through with M16s, at some point I'm just like, yeah, this guy, I don't know.
There's a wire missing, right?
There's something.
If your neighbor walked up to you and was like, hey, man, the killer robots are coming. And they're coming with flamethrowers and M16s, and there's nothing you can do about it, but I've got the solution. Rope. Like, one, your brain's so melted that you think that that's an actual possibility.
Yeah.
Two, you think that you have the solution to an impossible problem. The point of a walking, talking robot that can kill you without like direction from other human beings, like this independent AI thing, is that it's the most terrifying thing that can happen because there's no stopping it. Right? Like that's like the whole idea. Like that's like, to my mind, that's the messaging here is like, yeah, you're going to have something that can't feel pain coming at you. Throw rope on it. That'll stop it.
Yeah. I just wonder what his thoughts are now too, when it comes to just the evolution of like drones and how, Oh,
Sergio. You're a wizard. You're looking into the crystal ball. We'll find out more. We'll find out more in about like 10 minutes.
Yes.
I hate this guy so fucking much. Sergio, so I've got another clip for you that I want to talk you through. Before we play it, I will walk us through I'll set the clip up here. So he and his wife, Mrs. W, they're considered to be the most dangerous couple ever, according to the trailer that they put out a little bit ago. So the music in this scene, this upcoming scene,
even worse than Sid and Nancy or Bonnie and Clyde.
It's like fucking like kindergarten compared to what these two are. So in this upcoming clip, we're going to see them go through an urban warfare training scenario because why not?
It's Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday. I got nothing else to do. So the music is super intense. Like, it's really disorienting footage. Like, it's a lot of quick cuts. Like, the camera's spinning a lot. Like, it's just like, it is nightmare fuel for like someone who's like, who already thinks that conservative gun-toting people are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It is like, oh, Jesus Christ, they're actually training for, it's like, it is their Super Bowl. They're waiting for their Super Bowl. And when they get the chance, it's going to be really bad.
God, man.
So the video clip takes place at a place called Thunder Ranch. And that is located in Oregon, like Southeast Oregon, outside of Bend. So apparently this is from their website. Thunder Ranch is the foremost destination for firearms skills training in the United States. We focus primarily on practical thinking under elevated stress situations. Sorry. So,
Is this a quote from them, or is this like
that's a quote from
Rolling Stone is saying this, or Yelp is saying that this is one of the most
their Yelp review. Sandy from Bend says, it was extreme. I couldn't get enough of firing my gun off. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, so yeah, that is a quote ripped directly from their website. So they focus on that, thinking under stress. I read that and interpreted that as, how do I kill someone who's invaded my home, or maybe accidentally shoot one of my children that's been let loose in the barn in the middle of the night because they're out there doing drugs or drinking with their friends. And I, because I'm a paranoid fucking lunatic, carry a gun with me everywhere I go. And then I end up shooting my children after I scan the room, so to speak. Anyway, it's like, there's a lot of things wrong with Thunder Ranch, and we're going to get to that. But Cody and his wife, man, they really are the most dangerous couple. We're going to watch like the first opening 30 seconds, and then we'll cut to like some pre-cut clips.
Oh. Night vision.
Yep. In the middle of the day. I fucking hate him so much, Sergio. He's such a prick. How intense is this music, though?
Oh, yeah.
The beat's a fucking banger, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give him this. Like, I know that the folks on the anti-Wranglerstar subreddit, when they get a hold of this podcast and be like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. The music he used, his music choices, fucking peak. Like, honestly, like, you are keyed up. Like, I'm ready to fucking go.
Go blow up some shit.
Yeah. That fucking bass line.
Yeah.
All right, so that's where we'll cut it. Basically,
well, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
So, have you ever shot guns?
I have shot a gun one time.
Okay.
And I was terrified.
Yeah.
The entire time.
I went one time with a couple of my friends out in Washington, and the guy, he grew up in Montana, and so he's really, really liberal, but it's just, he loves the Second Amendment, and he said, and they make their own bullets, they do all that stuff. But I shot a Glock 40, a 10 gauge or 12 gauge shotgun, and in the beginning I was fucking around, yeah, I got a gun,
right,
whatever.
Right.
And he just took me aside. He's like, look, the number one rule is if you're pointing the gun at something, be expecting that you're going to kill it.
Yep.
And then the first time I fired it, like my arm just shot up, and I was like, holy shit, I want to put this down right now because I'm scared.
Terrified.
Yeah.
It is a my first and only experience was shooting down an actual like indoor gun range.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Okay.
Oh, not indoor, it was outdoor.
Oh, okay. So this was like you have to sign in, you have to give a license, and then we give you your gun, and then like we walk you through like safety regulations and rules. Like, it was, to their credit, it was well done. But that does not take away like the absolute fear of holding a killing machine in my hands. Like, it's not something that I think about ever.
No.
But like when it did happen, I was like, Jesus Christ, like this is a life-ending instrument. There's nothing else that you do with this thing.
No, it's not a toy
at all.
No,
Sergio, it's not a fucking toy. You don't hold it sideways,
motherfucker. Yeah, no, it was a really, really great experience to have and to be with somebody that was passionate would hunt and knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And it absolutely gave me just the awareness of how powerful a gun is.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever want to hold one again. Yeah,
it's a tool. And like I've heard it a couple of different ways, right? Like pussy liberals like me, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's terrible. I don't want to ever hold a gun. And then you hear some people say it's the most powerful feeling that they've ever had.
Yeah.
To know that they can control it. It's like, I don't know if this is too far.
Judge, jury, and execution.
Yeah. Like I am the ender of worlds. I have become death. Like you are holding in your hands what amounts to being the nuclear bomb before the nuclear bomb. Like you can kill and at will.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying. Sergio, I'll tell you who's not afraid of killing people. That would be fucking Cody. So I'm going to fast forward in this clip. Clint, who is the owner of Thunder Ranch, directs his wife, Mrs. Wranglerstar, to aim at a very specific target. And I just want you to listen to the audio. I mean, obviously you watch along, but listen to the audio. And I'll start a little bit before so you get a little bit of reference here for what this guy sounds like and what he looks like.
By the platforms you're shooting from. Does that make sense? The target for this whole drill is the black man at 100 yards. So you...
Can we give him credit? He didn't use the N-word.
Yeah, he didn't use the N-word, but he definitely identified it's the black man.
Yeah.
See all the water running?
Over there.
Call it the rice paddy. Right out here, like 100 yards. See the two white guys?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone,
don't hurt them.
Look to the left, and there's a black guy in the ditch. Little black guy, okay?
Kill the black guy.
It's about this big. That's your target.
Kill the black
Shoot that guy.
Shoot that guy.
Okay? No matter where you are down here, shoot that guy.
Shoot the black guy.
Cool.
No matter where you are, shoot the black guy.
Okay? Just look.
So Clint is he is everything you think he is, based off of that clip alone.
A huge piece of shit.
He's everything you think he is. He is such a fucking nightmare of a man.
Shoot the black guy. What the fuck?
When I watched this and I heard that, I was like, well, there's no way that's not going in the show. Like,
no,
it has to. Like, that is insane thing to say. Shoot the black man. A black man in the ditch. What is wrong with you?
I guess, he's reading his audience. So
at least he knows his audience. Yeah. So Clint goes as far as to helping Cody and Mrs. W figure out how to actually clear a room. And it is it's so fucking pathetic watching Cody not talk, but like go through the exercise and watch his wife like do much better than he's doing.
Oh, so Cody is not an athlete.
No. Oh, no. Yeah, we'll talk about Cody's got some physical ailments.
Because he broke his shoulder the one time.
Yeah, his collarbone and all that. But he also fell off of the back of a pickup truck and fractured his leg in two places.
That's no excuse.
No one's ever deserved something more than Cody. He's the most accident-prone man you'll ever. He's Mr. Magoo with an AR-15. All right, I'm going to go ahead and clip back. Mr. Magoo with an AR-15. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this clip.
It's fucking terrifying.
Just mowing down, blindly shooting everywhere. Oh, boy, here we go.
Not working.
Yep.
Now the slide is working. Are you with me?
Uh-huh.
So I'm using the light surgically to find stuff, okay? And now it's not helping me, and now it is. Can I see shit on the stairwell? Yeah, that's why when the light comes on and your rifle's to your shoulder, you're ready to go. So if you see somebody, you stop, get out of my house, okay? If you go, hey, fuck you, then you bring the gun up.
So you kind of get like the vibe of like this training, right? Like it is like he is, I mean, like the lights are out in the video, like the stairwell is completely dark. The only thing that they can see with it are the gun lights attached to the guns. Like he's getting these people primed and ready to use their gun indoors to kill people, or at least intimidate them enough with a gun to make them leave their property or whatever. Like, I have a really interesting perspective around not me personally, but like I do abide by like the idea that like if you look at the state of Vermont, it's the highest gun ownership state in the country. It's also one of the more liberal states in the country. I don't argue the Second Amendment as a home defense situation, but we need to regulate the fuck out of what that actually looks like and what that actually means. If I'm making any sense.
You're absolutely making a lot of sense. Like Canada, doesn't Canada have, with the amount of population, like 20 guns per person or whatever, statistically speaking?
Yeah.
But you can't just go out and get a gun and just not register or be licensed for it. You can't just pick them up. I mean, people pick them up at, gun shows or through the black market. But it's, why don't you need a license to have a gun? Why can't you just pick one up? Or why do you...
Or insurance.
Or background checks to just make sure that, there's a reason why you shouldn't have a gun.
To get a job, you got to take a piss test. Like at the very least, like why don't you have to take a piss test to get a gun? In order to get hired at a company, I have to take a pee test to make sure that I'm not doing illicit drugs. And if I want to buy a gun, something that can end a life, I don't have to go through anything because some old dude in 1700 was like, yeah, it'd be a good idea. Hold on, I got an idea. Everyone gets a gun. Like I know that like things were very different back then, obviously, right? Like you're fighting for independence and blah 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 blah. But even then, I don't know that everyone needed a gun back then. If today's society is any indication what societies have always been like, then no one has ever needed a gun. People are fucking crazy.
You're right.
So Cody, this is all like kind of building to like a crescendo of sorts here, right? Like I'm showing you intentional clips because I want you to see like how far Cody will go out of his way to either get around YouTube regulations, show you how to fire off guns, load guns, use language that's just dripping with violence. Like he is a very violent man. He anticipates that there's a struggle coming. And one of the things that he likes to do in order to get around the YouTube algorithm and censorships is say, I asked AI a question. And here he asks, what kind of weapons would you use to best defend your home for the upcoming struggle? And he asks AI the question.
Another contradiction.
Beloved, I just asked AI a very interesting question I think you're going to want to hear. What would be the top choice for a professional homeowner if you could only have one firearm to prepare for the coming struggle? Do you know what number 3 was? I'll give you all 3. Number 3 was the Mossberg 500 or Remington 870 shotgun.
He's
number
giving
2,
gun recommendations.
A Remington 700 bolt action.
Is that
very interesting. Now, this is taking into consideration everything.
It's got a silencer tip, It's a long
availability
rifle.
of parts, ammunition, ability to use. This may not appeal to you, but just as a whole, as an average. You want to know what the number 1 was? The AR-15. No surprise. Then I ask it this: who makes the very best AR-15?
I can see the frustration growing.
Number 1, Daniel Defense. Number 2.
Oh, he also gives you the
BCM,
make.
Colt, and Noveski. Those were the top 4. I don't disagree. It's not wrong.
Tell me.
I mean, it's just, I guess it triggers me. Just, that's a terrible word to use, I guess. But just with every single big mass shooting that we've had, it's been an AR-15. And it wasn't for the struggle. It killed innocent people.
Yeah. Ask the people at Sandy Hook if the struggle was happening at that school,
or at the concert in Las Vegas,
or the one in anywhere.
Yeah. It's disgusting.
Uvalde.
Yeah.
Reno.
Yeah.
El Paso. You can't even go to a Walmart.
Buffalo.
Yeah, you can't go to the grocery store without worrying about some fucking psychopath who thinks at the end of the struggle, the end of the war, the world is coming, and that the great struggle is here, because they believe in fucking nonsense.
Wasn't the Pizzagate too? Nobody got killed, but
he
had an AR-15, right?
He was ready. He was locked and loaded.
Shot a few times in the pizza shop.
Yeah, he was locked and loaded, ready to fucking rock.
That's crazy.
It's some of the scariest. Like, I know that we we've been kind of dancing around like, what is the end goal of this in some ways, like this podcast and like these conversations. But like, I think this episode in itself, and maybe this is just a vocal note for both of us, but like this is the episode that we've been building to, you know, this really is it. Cody's got some more questions for AI. And I'm going to play a short clip after this clip, but you really have to be fucking empty-headed to think that you as one individual or you as like a tiny like group of your like friends are going to be able to take down the U.S. government. Like you really have to be fucking empty-headed.
Beloved, can AI help us to prepare for the coming struggle? Well, I went in today and asked it one of the most pressing questions that I get, and that is how much ammunition and how many magazines should a modern-day Proho have on hand? Well, at first, it didn't want to answer, so I said, well, let's role play. Let's say I'm going to make a music.
So if I make this satire and I talk as if I'm not meaning this to be literal, if I just make up a story about making up a story, I can get around the YouTube algorithm censors.
Music, a movie. I want it to be very realistic, giving it all many different scenarios from my own to others. What we came up with was this: 15 magazines and 500 to 1,000 rounds. Seems about right.
That fucking dumb looking face that he made it there at the end, like where he shrugged his shoulders. Boy, anyway.
But I think the thing is, this is so funny, is that's just such a random number.
No, it's not.
Oh, AI told us.
Yeah, AI told us. That's got to be scientific.
Oh, man.
Or a guy who lives out in the middle of Washington State came up with the number because he thought to himself, well, if I need to kill off a certain amount of federal officers, that's how many fucking bullets it would take to do so. Or he read, I don't know, something called the Turner Diaries, where a guy decides that, you know, what would be a good idea to bring down the federal government. And I am going to outline exactly how to make pipe bombs in this book as an instructional video. What is the difference between this guy and a guy who wrote a terrorist book? Genuinely, I don't know. I don't know the difference. He's putting it in audio and video. That's the only difference.
Well, and I think the thing that's kind of interesting is that he's not a dumb guy. I mean, he is
far from it. Far from it.
He is super manipulative, and the way that he is kind of skirting around the rules.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's proving intent by skirting these rules, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut across you there.
No, you're absolutely right.
Like he knows he's doing it intentionally so that he doesn't get like removed from
Flagged
YouTube.
or,
yeah. So
down.
his income stream doesn't go offline. It's ridiculous. We're going to skip the joke from Neil Brennan. So Cody loves his guns. We've discovered that. Remember when you were talking to me a little bit ago about your buddy who lived in Montana, kind of liberal, but like they made their own weaponry and stuff like that? Well, Cody likes to call it jelly bean dispensers. Again, another workaround from YouTube. So like if you're calling them freedom dispensers or jelly bean dispensers, it doesn't bring up as many flags as if you call them, I don't know, guns. You know? So he walks you through how to what to do with your recycled aluminum cans in this video.
Beloved. It requires about 365 of these smelted down to build the lower receiver for a jelly bean dispenser. Act accordingly.
Does he have like a mold to?
Yeah. He's got like a 3D printer and everything. He knows a couple of guys. So like he calls them his war band. Basically, it's like the group of guys that's a part of his militia that he's building slowly. Like that whole Beloved thing is very much a nod to his militia. I think I've discovered that, or at least that's my interpretation. Like looking through like all of like the stuff on Reddit and like a lot of the comments in his YouTube page, a lot of it seems like this is the militia that he's trying to build, or like the cult that he's trying to build. Like it's a very much an insulated high control group. And I think he's very much nodding to people when he says Beloved. That's just my own 2 cents. Have you ever wondered how many rounds an AR-15 can handle?
I mean, I have
No, now you got the answer, you dumb idiot.
I gotta stop falling for that.
Yeah, I keep setting you up. It's a volleyball set every single time.
Beloved, as we prepare for the coming struggle, it seems to me there are 3 magazines a guy might want to consider. The 20 round is very nice because it's so handy. Very good for around the house, on the farm and ranch where you don't have that big, deep magazine hanging out, especially if you need to go prone. 30, of course, is going to be the staple, but that should be probably reserved for the common man for plate carriers and really go-to-war kits. Don't underestimate the 60. These are actually used by special forces, and I'll tell you what, you combine this with a bipod, and you essentially turn your AR into a scuffed LMG. It's not everything, but it's certainly not nothing.
Do you know what an LMG is?
No.
It's a light machine gun.
Okay.
And light machine guns are only made to do one thing.
Kill lots of people.
Yeah, yeah. He is gradually been escalating this entire time, and that's the point I'm trying to prove here, is that he is not a homesteader. He's not a guy who's trying to teach you anything. He is trying to get you to believe in the craziest shit, so that 1, you'll be afraid and you'll keep buying his stuff, and 2, so that you become activated. Like, that is it. Like, there's no, like, if you think about like the Alex Jones model, right? Like, he sells you all these supplements so he can keep himself on the air, so he can continue to make you afraid, so you continue to buy his stuff. And then when people go to, I don't know, a church in South Carolina and kill a bunch of black people because he thinks the race war is coming, because all he's heard for over the last 10 years is that there's an upcoming race war. If you talk about the upcoming struggle so much and say, if you want to defend your fucking home, the best weapon to do it with is an AR-15. Oh, and you can fill it with green tips, and you can put a fucking stabilizer on the end of it, and you got yourself a scuffed LMG. We're talking about somebody who, like, he is a terrorist in waiting, and the people that he's instigating are party to it.
Indoctrinating.
Yeah. Like, the people who are falling for his shit are going to maybe one day carry out something that can be traced back to any one of these videos, in my mind. Like, this is where I've been kind of sitting with this guy for a little bit now, is, holy shit, this guy's fucking terrifying.
That is just, and I think just with hearing you say that as well, then I guess this goes into whole, freedom of speech talk, but how much responsibility does social media have when it comes to not taking the shit off, but
even after you've reported it for the 3rd time. I'm not against the Second Amendment. Like, a lot of people would think, like, oh, well, liberals are against it, or leftists are against the Second Amendment. I'm not. I'm fully behind a citizenry not being able to be run over by a very powerful force. But when you are building stories about how they're coming for you in the middle of the night, and the only way to do it, the only way to stop it, it's not through voting anymore. It is through bullets, and bullets alone. Yeah. That is a really scary proposition. That is a life that I remember telling you this in the first episode. Like, I saw myself being able to live out in the woods by myself for the rest of my life. Like, if I didn't have to come back home from Frostburg, I wouldn't have. Because I felt like, oh yeah, like, but then I look back at this kind of thing now and I go, well, that's who you become. Yeah. Genuinely. Like, most people don't go down like the peaceful leftist route of building a commune in the middle of the mountains and then like everyone like
doing a bunch of mushrooms and gardening.
Right. Like hanging out barefoot and like, exploring what it means to be a part of the earth. Like, you eventually become like this right-wing lunatic who wants to bring down the United States government.
Why? So with this too, I am not remembering as clearly, but did we just? I know how much his religious background and religion. Is he also proselytizing?
Yeah, he does
throughout this. So does he do church services with his people? Is he kind of like a preacher?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he does. So he, for a really long time, he had Saturday Bible sessions because he's a Seventh-day Adventist. He doesn't believe in Sundays being the holy day. He believes in Saturdays being the holy day. So he would do Saturday Bible studies and preach on like his live streams that he would do. And you can find them. They're still on YouTube. Like, and he also put them all on Spotify. So like you can find them if you're so inclined. You can listen to all of them, and they're all fucking terrifying.
I'm good.
You know, he is a very dangerous man. He's a very dangerous person. And I want to show you this this clip here, actually, real quick.
May Xanthia and Kiss My Anthea be allies.
King Argatron be damned. We fight with you.
Thank you, friends. Your honor is great.
Come, let us gingerly touch our tips.
Oh, wait a minute. That's not Cody and his friends. That's fucking the role models where they're LARPing as fucking warriors. Wait a minute. Let me pull up the right clip because that's not right. Oh, man. What a great movie, by the way. Have you ever watched Role Models?
I've actually never seen it.
Oh, my God. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Paul Rudd. That's some of his best work. America's Hero.
I mean, what?
No, this is Cody and his friends, by the way. LARPing. Dressed up in tactical gear. You'll notice that Cody has night vision on in the middle of the fucking day. Like he's a fucking Call of Duty character. I can't watch any more of that just because it's like, it's so frustrating to me.
Then the thing that's so weird about it is that he's just driving around his like $1 million ranch.
Yes.
He's not in, you know, a really dangerous area where people are trying to break into his house
At all
the time.
At all. No, we'll come back to it, but I've been near where he lives, and I can tell you right now, it's remote, but it ain't like, it's not super remote, but it's remote. Mm-hmm. Like you're not finding a Walmart next door kind of thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. What do you say we take a break? Yeah. Is that okay? Yeah. All right. We'll be right back. So Sergio, you know how the algorithm works on YouTube. The more you watch one type of content, the more that content is suggested to you from YouTube, putting you further and further down whatever rabbit hole that you're in. For instance, I don't know about you, but I like to watch like videos before I go to bed because I'm a 13-year-old boy, and so I watch
what kind of videos,
Hot Wheels,
yes,
mostly. So I watched this YouTube channel called Good Mythical Morning, and they're two guys. They were one of like the original content creators on YouTube. Like they were one of the first people that first channels that ever hit over 1 million subscribers, that kind of thing. So they're super popular, and they do like food rating reviews. That's basically all it is. Like they come up like these fun like little games where they throw darts at a board, like a map, and like they try to guess where the food came from. Like they've got like a lot of really cool content that they put out, at least for me. But I always watch it before I go to bed because it's mindless. It kind of helps me zone out a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so like, you know, my personal account is filled with like happy fun things, but my At the Extremes account is filled with fucking nightmare fuel. I have said it twice now because it is absolutely nightmare fuel. And from what I can understand is that YouTube thinks I'm also preparing for the great struggle. So if you ever want to know how to clear a room,
This video will demonstrate how to clear a T-section solo. A T-section is simply a...
by the way, this is like an animated video of a guy with a gun showing you how to check your corners when you're trying to, you know, kill people.
It's at Gun Near Strategic.
Gungener Strategic. So close quarter battle. That's what CQB means. And so this guy, like his entire channel is dedicated to showing you how to kill people in hallways.
What fucking dorks.
Dude, it's so fucking insane that these people have, this is a revenue stream. This guy like makes, this video alone has 206,000 likes.
Holy shit.
Over 1,000 comments. And I'm sure like if like there's a way to find out how many views it's got, but like, cause I have not liked it, but like, let's see the description. It's got over 3 million. It's nearly 4 million views, Sergio. 4 million views for close quarter combat tactics on how to clear a hallway, i.e., kill people in a hallway.
I thought it was going to be like
and the
farting.
principles used apply to any form of opposing dead space you may encounter. As you move towards the T-section, hug one of the walls while clearing the opposing side dead space. Continue advancing until you reach a point where moving forward would expose you unnecessarily to the dead space on your same side.
You know what? I can't even be bothered. I genuinely can't be bothered to watch it. Unless you want to. Like,
no.
Okay. It is such foolishness. It makes me so angry it shoves more and more extreme shit in your face. YouTube.
This is just like a specialized ways of playing like cops and robbers.
Yeah, but like in this version, like anyone who...
The rapture is coming. The government's coming to kill you.
The robbers are the military.
Yeah.
Like it makes me so angry. It shoves more and more in your face, and YouTube is to blame for that. Like they have to have some responsibility in this. Mm-hmm. Like there has to be a regulation around this where you go, guys, like this isn't okay. Like yes, it's not like saying, oh, you should put a gun in your hand and go around killing people in the hallway. But it is like, it's framed in this like, oh, it's an educational thing. It's not an educational thing. What is educational about that? What are you gaining from that other than a skill on how to kill people?
Yeah. And just like, what kind of situation are you really going to ever end up?
Never.
Unless you're like
Never.
a SWAT person.
Also, even if you are a SWAT person or if you're a police officer, think about this. When police officers, and Uvalde, when they refused to go into the school building to fucking take down the shooter, they probably should have watched this video. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about a society that when push comes to shove, most people aren't doing this, even if they're prepared to do it, because when you are faced with live fire, and you're not training for that on a daily basis, you shut down. Most people do.
Your adrenaline, it's either fight or flight, right?
Yeah.
And your adrenaline, you're just free firing at any direction
to
try to keep yourself alive.
Yeah. And, oh, wait a minute, there's a kid in the way.
Yeah.
It just makes me so angry.
But it's so fucking infuriating as well, too, because these big companies will say, oh, we have this commitment to excellence to do this. But then they don't really do it.
No,
and I know it's hard because how many people now use YouTube and, the technology, but they also don't pay their taxes. Like Google doesn't pay, they don't pay shit. So
and then you get like Facebook scrubbers, right? Like or like their whole thing is like to identify, extremist activity on Facebook. But if those people aren't like dialed in with what like extremism actually looks like, then this kind of shit can get through. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's educational. No, it's not. What is education? Fuck, makes me so angry. When you look at the recent content that Cody's been producing, he's very obviously looking forward to an apocalyptic ending. We're talking Ruby Ridge here. We're talking a watered down Waco. I think he wants it to happen so that he can claim he was right all along, right? Like the hyper-Christian Second Amendment type folks, like they want the apocalypse to happen so that they can say, oh, well, the Bible was right. Mm-hmm. Cody wants the government to come in and kill him so that he can say, I was right. The government's always been coming for us, right? Like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And when it doesn't happen, then they say things like, oh, well, we've been talking about it, so it put them off from doing it. Right. So they win either way.
Yeah.
Right. Like the logic, like it's bad logic, but you can see how it works. Right.
Yeah. It's you can't lose. It's like a no lose situation for you.
Yeah. Yeah. But so like I said, gone are those days of focusing on his greenhouse, his wife's garden. He's now, there was a video that I showed you in the last episode that we're going to get back to. He specifically expresses his version of what God wants his men specifically to start doing here. God, this is where it gets hard.
Their way back. Why did Abraham do that? Now, maybe you should go read it and figure that out for yourself. That's not what this is about. But we have an example of a man that was able to field a private army. Very interesting.
Why would that be interesting? To have your own private army if you weren't, I don't know, an extremist looking to bring down the government.
And fund your own private army.
Yeah, you can, I don't know, put 1 and 2 together here. Yeah.
Another example, and I'm going to speak to those of you, every time I talk about this, and being a man of faith, being a man of the book myself, I'll always get someone that will come in when I talk about these type of things that'll say, no, you need to turn the other cheek. A Christian man needs not be taking up arms and doing anything like that. That's against the teachings of Christ. That's not true. Anyone who says that is ignorant of their Bible and don't pay any attention to them. The Christian religion, the unadulterated, unfiltered Christian religion
Again, we get back to the conversation we had last week. Who's Christian enough?
Is a fighting man's religion. This soft soap that you maybe have experienced in our modern Western churches is not Christianity.
So again, like it's this, like we're building to the crescendo, right? Like where he's going to start calling for an active holy war. Like it is, Sergio, when I say that like his content, like it can be laughable, it can be goofy, and it can be funny because like it's a guy wearing jeans and he named himself Wranglerstar, but like he's very serious. He is very serious. Like I think Kamala Harris said something during her acceptance speech last week at the DNC about like Donald Trump is a very unserious man.
Yeah.
But the consequences of voting him back in are incredibly serious. He is a very serious man who has very serious consequences if you follow what he wants you to do.
Dude, he's got 2.5 million followers. Some of them are clearly hate followers, but
Yeah. I mean, this video got viewed nearly 1 million times. That's a lot of views. Now, even if you take out my like 25, like that's still a lot of views, independent clicks. That's a lot of viewing.
Yeah. That's terrifying.
Dude, he is like, he wants a holy war. He wants a fight. He wants you to come to his doorstep. We're going to talk about accelerationism for a second. And I know that this is like, this is going to confuse people because like I'm throwing a little some background into the middle of the episode here, but like, so there are a couple of different versions of accelerationism. Basically, like one of them like dictates that like, okay, well, let's go ahead and like get capitalism to run as hot and as fast as we can so we can get to its natural end so we can rebuild a system that's good for everybody. And then there's the other version of this where and this is from the Vox piece that I was reading, quote, accelerationists reject any effort to seize political power through the ballot box, dismissing the alt-right's attempts to engage in mass politics as pointless. If one votes, one should vote for the most extreme candidate, left or right, to intensify points of political and social conflict within Western societies. Their preferred tactic is for heightening these contradictions, however, is not in voting, but just in violence. Attacking racial minorities and Jews as a way of bringing us closer to a racial war, and using firearms to spark divisive fights over gun control. The ultimate goal is to collapse the government itself. They hope for a white-dominated future after that.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
And
that's what this dude stands for.
Yeah. That's wild.
Remember you talking about drones?
Yeah.
I kind of want to shift from that. Like the tone got down a little bit there, but like, I don't know. Let's talk about that for a second. Before we get to the drone part, let's come back to that and let's talk about what we just read through. Like, what are your thoughts around that, Sergio?
Well, just the whole thought of just excelling something to just blow it up just so that it's met its purpose and then you can move on to, the next ism that you can. But then also this extreme version, I don't know. There's just a lot to think about there if you really think about it, it definitely, that makes a lot of sense and why that would be a tactic that people use. I know one of the things that I've seen a lot too, especially with super, right-wing fundamentalist Christians, is that they, with Israel, they're hoping that, Jerusalem gets blown up so that that they can, that's where the rapture is supposed to take place.
I think I read something about like red heifers. Do you know about this?
Possibly.
Okay, so like red heifers. So like the mount, whatever is it, whatever church is supposed to be on the mount.
Oh yeah.
The indicator that Christ is coming back is a red heifer is sacrificed at the church or the temple. There is a farm in Texas that breeds every single year. It breeds red heifers to send to Israel in hopes of them being sacrificed. Christians want the end of the world because they think what's coming after that is so much better than what's here today. And like the apocalyptic brain, like the normie brain can't like understand this at all. Like you're talking about the end of the world being dictated on a red cow being killed.
Yeah.
That is your God.
And devils and demons are going to be fighting humans, but the ones that believe are going to get taken up to God, and we're going to have to.
Oh, okay. So you're bringing up something interesting here. Are you post-trib or a pre-trib guy?
I'm neither.
See, again, you're not a real Christian. Fuck off.
Yes.
So like, if you can think about this like in a couple of different ways, but like the thing that like, so I grew up in a faith background that dictated that it was. When I say pre-trib or post-trib, I mean the rapture happens after the tribulation, which is apocalypse, or it happens before. And what you how you declare in that tells me a lot about what your religion actually is.
I grew up Catholic, so we don't believe in that.
You guys don't believe in anything.
No, except for that we're actually drinking the blood of Christ.
Yeah. And then like that like when you go to a pool, you have to go to the mother of the lifeguard to get saved by the lifeguard. It makes no sense to me. It's never made any sense. Catholics are equally as crazy as every single one of them. But
agreed.
Yeah. So yeah, like the idea that like, okay, if I'm going to get saved by the Lord, it's going to happen before or after Christians are tortured. Yeah. So anyway, that's an aside that, anyway. Yeah, I think it's like the one part from this Vox piece that stood out to me the most was the ultimate goal is to collapse the government itself, and they hope for a white-dominated future after that. You hear so much about white replacement theory. You hear so much about like QAnon-related adjacent stuff to white replacement stuff that, and you hear. Oh God, dude, Sergio, I want to tell you about what's coming, but I can't because it helps to build this world.
You can't blow the money shot. You've been working too hard to get.
I've been edging for months. Oh man, so Cody did talk about the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. We're going to skip over it because it really is filled with nothing. But just to say that like he doesn't care. Because he's a tool he's a means to an end.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like he doesn't care about Trump. He cares about let me rewind. He absolutely cares about Trump. Yeah. He's a fucking Trump guy. But once the COVID thing, like the COVID vaccination thing, he lost him. That's when he lost Cody. Because
Cody definitely wanted to get his vaccine. And
yeah. Cody was like, yeah, I can't wait to get the, my parents never let me get the polio vaccine. I can't wait for it.
MMR.
Yeah. Smallpox, chickenpox, monkeypox. He's really into monkeypox right now.
Yeah. I got the smallpox vaccine.
Did you really? Mm-hmm. Is that because you were born in Mexico City?
Yeah. It's so in Mexico.
That was a stab in the dark.
Yeah.
Is that for real?
No, totally. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
It's I mean, I have a tattoo now that kind of covers it, but I have the little scar. So it's if you're
shit.
Yeah, if you were, I think, born before or if you were born in the 40s, and you had it, and then people that weren't born in the country.
Right. Wow.
So, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. The more you know. Boom. All right. So remember you were talking about we were actually talking before I kind of sidetracked us, but like you were talking about like Cody and drones.
Yeah.
Cody hates them. They're just up there. They're right up there with fucking robots. He's a real anti-robot kind of guy.
Beloved, you're not going to believe this.
Okay, so the video is him showing you a video instead of laying the video with embedding the video in his own video because he's a fucking idiot. Doesn't know how to work the internet. He shows you a video coming off of his phone that is labeled NATO. It's clearly not a NATO video though. So and it's just drones being launched, but it's not. It says NATO. Oh, sorry.
It's time to dust off an old friend.
Pro-ho, baby, all the way.
Act accordingly. So, can you talk us through what just happened there?
I mean, I basically have seen a video where you see 7 or 8 drones get shot up in the air. Yeah. And then he was like, you know what the solution for that is? And he just starts loading up a shotgun.
Yeah.
And
time to dust off a trusty friend.
Just do some skeet shooting, man.
A Mossberg. Time to fucking get him out of here, buddy. Come on, man. you're familiar with Portland.
Yes.
I love Portland. It's one of my favorite cities in the country. Genuinely, it is.
Yeah.
There are a lot of problems there, as there are in most cities, as there are across the country, right? Like,
Yeah.
poverty is a big thing in cities.
Homelessness, drug addiction.
It's just more on display in cities because there are more people around it. Cody hates Portland. I think I told you this last time in the last episode. He grew up, I think he grew up outside of Portland, southeast Portland. I believe I believe he grew up there. He kind of like winks and nods to like being in the Portland area for a while. Portland, if you've never been there, just watch Portlandia. You're basically caught up at that point. It's a weird, cool city.
Yeah.
But he hates it. And during the BLM protests, when things were not going well there, he decided, you know what? I need to go.
He looks like he's lost a lot of weight.
Well, all right. Do you want the story now or do you want it later? I can give it to you now. So Portland, not Portland, Cody is the Portland of humans. So he was, my understanding is that he's given up the drink and that he used to be substance reliant. He used to really rely on alcohol day in and day out.
Cheers.
Salud. At what most people would consider to be an excessive amount, including Cody. Cody was self-admittedly an alcoholic.
Okay.
And he gave up drinking after COVID. And look, there are some relatable points to Cody. You go, man, you know what? Congratulations, man. That's fucking awesome. Like that you gave that up. You got a lot of self-control now. Like you gave up drugs, you gave up porn, you gave up, alcohol. Like fair enough. But it is because he thinks that real men don't drink, masturbate, or do drugs. So it's like this like ultra machismo thing that's kind of wrapped up in like his own Christianity, faith-based system. Anyway.
But it's also too, though, I've noticed with people that have struggled with addiction and substance abuse that tend to be kind of more extreme people. And so it's filling in that spot with something else. So I wonder if all this YouTube stuff is...
Sergio, you fucking wizard. You've done it again.
You get a gold star.
You beautiful bastard. You've done it again. I'm going to go ahead and play the rest of this video, though. So Cody goes ahead and he shows us his fit for leaving for the occupied zone of Portland.
I like how it's focused kind of right on his dick right now.
Yep, he's really big about his dick. All right, let's go.
So why is Cody trying to go down to Portland to do this?
I'll tell you why here in a little bit. Green tips.
Jesus Christ.
How much ammunition can one man have going into, sorry, TikTok. How much ammunition can one man have?
Dude, you know what? Me and my wife were talking about once, just walking down. She had gone to, I don't remember where it was. I think she went to like the Social Security building, and then she saw just like this really disgruntled white guy coming in, and I'm so terrified right now because disgruntled white guys that go into places are scary. I mean, look at this guy. He had fucking like 4 guns on him, a huge machine gun in his backpack, green tips. Fuck. Like, fuck. It's just, I mean,
it's terrifying, dude.
Just to think, what people have or what they have in their car.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really scary. It's really scary. And, especially in Portland during that period of time when things were really hectic there and things were really violent and the left was responding to Proud Boys and 3%ers and Boogaloo Boys coming in to protect property and were killing people in order to protect property because that is what matters more than human beings. But really what it is it's not about property at all. It's about fulfilling their fucking like cosplay, fucking
LARPing.
wet dreams.
Yeah.
Like they want to be out there fucking killing people until they do it. And then they go, oh, Jesus Christ, killing people's hard. Or they've radicalized it enough where they go, yeah, I love to kill people.
Yeah. Or, I mean, just I think of Kyle Rittenhouse.
We're going to get to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Portland, too, didn't they took over a police station there for a while, right?
I think they bombed it.
I thought they took over it for a while.
Did they?
Yeah.
I thought they just lit it on fire, bombed it, and like left it. But if they took it over, it is a very different world in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah. They're pretty big in their protests.
Yeah, and you know what? Like as a country that was not a country, a country too, but like as a state that was established as a whites only state, like as it's changed and evolved, like I'm glad to see Portland go from like being like a grunge scene, like whites only place to like a super diverse, multicultural environment where.
I think you're wrong. I think Portland is still the whitest city in America, and Detroit is the blackest city in America.
I guess what I mean is like in terms of like they celebrate multiculturalism more than most cities do in the country, and when they do it, they
have a chip on their shoulder, man. Like they
do.
being the whitest city, major city in America,
Yeah.
you have to probably try a little harder.
You have to work really hard to show like we're not that white, but we are. So I'm gonna skip over these next two clips because we are running long on time. But he advocates finding. So there's like a key set that you can find on Amazon, which he links to in his video bio, where you can buy a key set for larger earth movers. And like he's like, think about what you can do with these larger earth movers. You can like break people out of buildings or block buildings up or move a bunch of earth to block up doors. Like he's advocating for like a continual escalation and acceleration of violence in that way. So because I am a fair person at heart, Sergio, I have to say that I do agree with him in this next clip up to a point. Some of his ideas I'm sympathetic towards. The industrial prison complex is corrupt. Our politicians don't make good decisions around our involvement in global conflicts, and young women and men are treated like pawns and toy soldiers, and their lives only matter in the as far as a soundbite will take a politician, right? But remember last week when we were talking, his opinions are aligned with something far more nefarious here. His isolationist form of government, one that promotes a model that takes us back to the brink of a theocracy, considerably reduces systems that are meant to help sustain people. It takes us off the world stage. It makes the United States a mere passenger on the worldview. And really, it creates a more dangerous outlook in total. There's so much nuance that Cody simply ignores and dismisses with his black or white thinking. And that's just an unacceptable way about going about life, right? Like the world that he envisions is a government and governments that have international treaties that have been broken. Funding has been moved around to basically like from the Department of Interior to the Department of Defense. And that's it. It's one of chaos. It's rugged individualism. Whereas I would like to see a world where we treat the least of us with dignity and respect. A world that doesn't push those folks to the ends and the boundaries of culture and society, but one that makes them so that option doesn't even exist to begin with, right? Like if you were to tear the world down and start it back over, that's where I see these kinds of things going. Mm-hmm. At the end of his rainbow is absolute chaos, littered by the rotting ruins of a once great republic. Mine would be rebuilding it so that we have beautiful flowers
and we all sing Kumbaya
coming out of that rotting corpse instead. But I'll show you this real quick video.
Well said, Greg.
Thanks, man.
It's difficult for us that don't support the continued war effort and the people for money and profit and greed and expansionism and military bases and on and on and on. You know, we're victims of that as well, the American people. We have to pay for this at the barrel of a gun. We can't resist. If we resist, we will be punished. Financially, they'll throw us in jail. One of the biggest businesses in this country are private jails.
Yes.
There's incentive for courts and cops to throw you in a metal cage because they make money from that. It's absolutely abhorrent. But I'm glad to see we could go on. You know, there's God is waking people up, and all of these things that were going on behind the scenes that we just didn't pay attention to because we couldn't be bothered. Now people are having to take a look at it. And when we're peeling back the curtain, what we're finding is abhorrent to us.
So again, I don't disagree with a lot of the messaging there. Like I genuinely do agree with the fact that all those things I talked about earlier. He wants to rebuild the world in a more chaotic function, like a more chaotic place.
Is it chaos though, or is it just his unilateral look at the world and the way that he wants it? Because if you follow, I mean, it's his catchphrase, right? Act accordingly. If you act accordingly to me, everything's going to be all right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. Like, I think you bring up a really good point there. Like, if we rebuild the world in the image that Cody wants, like to get back to the earlier point that I made, it is about rugged self-reliance.
Oh, and it's exclusive for white people that have the resources that didn't have the same kind of barriers, because his response would be, well, you just have to pull your, I was in this religious cult and I was mistreated, but look at me. I'm a millionaire because I'm on YouTube.
Right.
But you also didn't have to go through the barriers that a lot of, Black, Latino, Asian people have to go through, LGBTQ.
Right.
And so it's not really a fair comparison.
Well, I'll give you a little insight here. He married up considerably. His wife was or still is an attorney. So it's not like he found himself in a hard place. So to your point, like,
is he still married?
Yeah. They're married. Yes, they're very married. There are a lot of rumors on the internet, but they're very married. Okay. I've not found anything in the public domain that would indicate that he is divorced. Okay. Even though there's a lot of rumors around it, I've not seen anything on a Washington State court docket that would indicate that he is.
Okay.
Another point in time where Cody and I both agree on something: forest fire prevention. Right, I'm a big believer in taking care of the environment. Hiring more people to clear the forest floor, I think it's a great idea.
Doing controlled burns so that you can get rid of the dead stuff. So it doesn't. Yeah.
Make a massive investment in our national parks and Department of Interior. That's a great solution. But some of the same politicians and ideas that are the very basis of his belief system completely disagree with that. They would rather gut those departments.
Yeah.
Exacerbating those wildfires. And we'll watch this clip.
Beloved, do you want to know why the West is on fire and why these forest fires are out of control? Let me show you. This is our national forest. This is how they manage it. What do you think is going to happen to these trees, to this forest, if a fire starts in here?
Okay, but Cody, why do you think the forest is managed like that? Because the people that you vote for don't believe that the forest needs to be managed.
No, they want to.
So fuck off.
Put it into the military and.
Yeah, because the military is really good about fucking doing everything, right? Like Iraq or Vietnam.
Yep.
If we watch this clip about January 6th, Sergio, I'm going to run out into the street. I can't do it.
Good thing you live in a cul-de-sac, so people aren't driving super fast.
Well, you never know here. Yeah. So I searched high and low, and maybe it took me a little bit longer to find this clip than others did. But according to Cody, he's always found anarchy to be appealing, if not interesting. He waxes poetic about.
So this is where you're talking about his chaos. All right.
Yeah.
Going to be. I remember. I've always been sympathetic to anarchy. Now, I'm not saying that I'm an anarchist, but I did sympathize with the premise of let every man be pull himself up by his own bootstraps. Let him pull his own security and be responsible for his family and his food, and get out of my way. I don't want any hand holding. I don't want a nanny state. I've always wanted to be, if I eat, I'll eat because I worked and I earned my keep. I never wanted a handout, and I never wanted anyone taking from me to give to someone else. If I wanted to do that on my own, that's another thing.
It's always a good time for a great deal. Get the new $6 meal deal from Dunkin'. A medium hot or iced coffee, bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, and a side of hash browns for $6. Get the new $6 meal deal from Dunkin'. Only available in the app. America runs on Dunkin'.
And that sounded really good when you're sitting inside the confines of a thriving and vibrant economy when everything's going good. The grass was always greener over there. And yet here we are, right on the threshold of anarchy, where it's already happening. Maybe not to you, but in many cities right now, you can't call the cops to come if you have a home invasion. You either deal with it or you die, or you're stolen from. Sometimes the cops don't show up at all. So there are no-go zones even in this country, and that's only increasing in the rural areas.
Thoughts?
I mean, it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit because it's, me trying to explain what life's like where he lives.
Right.
He doesn't fucking live in these areas. He
At
doesn't
all.
know what, happens and doesn't happen. Shitty things happen all the time everywhere.
Yeah.
And it sucks. And, I have always come through the mindset that if there was a home invasion, I mean, I will give anything up that I can to keep my family safe.
Right.
And, but I'm not, I just, again, don't know if I could ever be in a position of killing somebody or pointing a gun or doing anything like that for, my keys to my car or something like that. Take the shit. Like
the things I have mean nothing to me.
No.
Yeah. All right. Well, Cody has realized that the grift in the right wing dictates that he moves people to the harder and harder right version of what he believes in. He wants conflict. He wants things to fall apart. But the irony is, he really wouldn't know what to do when tanks roll through his backyard and the ATF, FBI, DHS, other, alphabet soup organizations light his home on fire like they did in Waco, right? He have no idea. I'm not calling for that, of course, right? I'm simply using Waco as an incident, as an example of what he wants. He wants an armed conflict with the government.
Yeah. And it's just, I mean, Waco was really, really terribly mismanaged and should have been handled a lot differently than it was.
Yeah.
But nothing, I mean, I don't know. Nothing's really resolved about it except for Waco jokes about we ain't coming out.
Yeah. Well, I think Alex Jones said that he was going to rebuild the Waco church at some point in time too. Right. It's like, dude, come on, man. Like you're not even a branch Davidian. You're a fucking wannabe Protestant anyway. Cody's invited hundreds of people to his homestead, right? So there are a lot.
Which is funny that he doesn't seem like, I mean, he seems like he would be the quintessential Northwest Freeze guy, that he would, hey, how's it going? And then just keep moving and not really want anything to do with you.
Yeah. Which, I feel like I'm that on the East Coast sometimes. I'm like, yep, see you later. Bye. Just keep on moving.
It's false. You're the nicest person I've ever met.
Oh, Sergio. Oh. But when the whole point of the shit hitting the fan is for no one to know where you live, Cody's done very little to help actually protect himself from that perspective. If you want to be truly independent from the federal government, maybe don't take money from the federal government. If you don't want people to find you, don't live next to a main road. And maybe if you don't want people to if you want to have the element of surprise, don't tell people how much fucking ammunition and how many guns you've got.
Or, if you're going to go on social media, go on anonymously.
Right.
Don't have your picture of your face and, have people know who you are.
Yeah, because I think the whole point of prepping is to avoid all of this.
Recognition.
Right, yeah. The whole point is to avoid interaction with people who might be able to take your resources if you believe in the way that he thinks about this kind of thing. I brought it up earlier in the episode that Cody is more of a prepper these days. I guess you could argue that homesteaders and preppers are virtually the same thing, sometimes called survivalism. You could loosely define the prepping and its emphasizing of self-reliance, blah, blah, blah. The stockpiling of supplies is in itself a wide spectrum. Survival kits, or like myself during COVID, toilet paper and paper towels.
What's so funny about that is that I never got worried about toilet paper. I came to the realization that after I took a shit that I would just go into the shower immediately and then just wipe my ass with my hand.
I grew up in a family, my grandparents, they believed in having sleeping bags ready at all times. Water,
really?
Water cleaning. Well, my grandfather was also in the military. So he was very used to the idea that one is none and two is one kind of thing. So you have backups. So they had, if they needed to leave town, they had, sleeping bags. They had water cleaning tablets. They had he had like a box of matches, like very practical things, not like anything crazy, but like in my house, for instance, I've got two sleeping bags, one for me and one for my wife, just in case. And then not that I've got it anywhere here, but
do you have money buried in your backyard?
I have killed several people in my neighborhood and buried diamonds in their backyard for when the great struggle comes. But no, the idea that okay, maybe we need to have a life straw, right? That's not a bad thing to have. If you go camping, you get lost in the woods, that kind of thing. To have a certain level of preparedness is okay, I think. But when you are obsessing about it because you think that the government's going to come kill you, that's when we start to cross a line that I can't get on board with.
Or people that were born during the Depression, right? Where you just hoarded cans of food and
absolutely.
stuff like that. That's understandable.
Understandable.
You're going through hard times.
I can get that. My grandmother and grandfather were born before the Great Depression. They grew up during the Depression. They had canned goods. My grandmother buys canned goods to this day in copious amounts, hundreds of dollars worth of canned goods. She'll never go through it. Survivalism really started to develop in the West during the 1929 Wall Street market crash, right? So it kind of makes sense in that perspective.
Was it Black Friday?
Yeah, Black Friday and all. So it makes sense to have it in that perspective, right? Okay, you know what? Maybe, if you grow up in that generation, you do have, and that's part of I feel like that's part of what Cody's always winking at is we live in a world of abundance and all of a sudden that can be taken away from you. So be prepared. And I think that there is some value in understanding none of this is permanent, but to scare people into it all the time is a problem.
Or even framing it in the sense of that don't be wasteful. Don't go out and buy a bunch of shit that you're just going to throw away. Be smart about what you're doing with the resources that you have.
Yeah, that's a good point too. That's a really good point. So, any government in the world with
sucks.
Yeah. But if they've got that amount of weaponry, could in essence destroy the world with one click of a button. So I'm not going to sit here and say I can't understand where his fear comes from. I think it's rooted in the movie version of what the world looks like versus reality. But there's a whole industry that's come out of this. This prepper mentality, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with it or not, but if you are, I'd love for you to add to it. If not, I'll talk you through it.
I mean, I feel like where there's any kind of niche, somebody's going to be there to try to fill it. For sure. If you can, especially now, and granted, I don't want to minimize anybody that does, social media, because I couldn't imagine being on camera and doing shit all the time for content. I mean, because that's the way you make it. You have to just create all the time. More and more content all the time. However, it's I think the things that I think about when it comes to prepping that it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, when you get to the really extreme, unless you've got a mental illness, but there's too much in it for the government and really, really rich people to not have the system collapse. You're not going to have the top 1% saying, oh yeah, we're supporting this so that we can have everything overthrown and I can't be a top 1%er.
Sure.
Motherfuckers are going to hold their everything to keep, every cent of
big facts
that they have.
Big facts. Where do we leave off?
Oh, talking about prepping and everything I wanted to know and what, the whole industry behind this.
Yeah. So as a result, there's been an entire industry that's come out of this, right? If you think about nuclear explosions like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? People have seeing that, the United States displaying that amount of terror on human beings, people who have families, people who didn't deserve any of the things that happened to them in those two cities.
Had babies with birth defects, and their kids were sterile and couldn't have babies.
Yeah. Shadows on the wall of people who were formerly standing there before they got blasted away by a nuclear bomb in those two cities. An entire industry has popped out of that because capitalism is always going to take advantage of a gap in the system. This isn't Cody, but it's a little marketing video that I'd like to show you about nuclear fallout and how you can prep for it if you wanted to.
How to survive a nuclear blast if you don't have a below-ground shelter. In some places where the ground is very difficult, it's going to be impossible to dig yourself out a nuclear shelter. Most people know that sandbags can be used for flood barrier protection, as well as bulletproofing and fortifications. But they can also be used to build fallout shelters. 3 feet of earth is what is required in order to attenuate gamma radiation. So for that reason alone, every prepper should have a few hundred sandbags at their disposal. How to survive a nuclear...
So, Sergi, do you have a couple of, I don't know, 200, 300, 400 sandbags at your house?
No, I don't have one.
You fucking idiot. You should, because that's how you're going to keep yourself safe during a nuclear blast.
But the thing that's so fucking crazy is just even if you look at the science behind it, regardless if you don't get instantly just fried when you come out, you're going to just...
die anyway.
You're going to just have radiation everywhere.
Right. And if the radiation poison doesn't get you, the nuclear fallout that comes from the nuclear winter will.
Yeah.
And there's no surviving it. So what is the point? I had this argument with my wife talking about the zombie apocalypse. And I was like, you know what? If the zombie apocalypse breaks out, fucking kill me immediately. I don't want to suffer through that.
No.
Just fucking kill me. I don't want to get eaten by a zombie, like a la like The Walking Dead. I don't want my muscles ripped off my body.
No.
But just fucking end it for me. What's the point? You're not going to, like, in a force that is that big, you're going to fucking lose.
Yeah.
Anyway.
God, this is so dark, man.
I told you it was going to get hard. So personal fallout shelters and bunkers began hitting the market shortly after World War II. Well, they were being, like, if you paid enough money before World War II, you could get a nuclear bunker. But since then, it's become commodified because capitalism will always, like I said,
I've seen some Vice things about these crazy.
Yeah, dude, it's so fucking wild. We're about to get, like, dip our toe in too.
What was it? The lifestyles of the rich and famous with Robin Leach. Yes. Fallout shelters.
Ah, yes, the fallout shelter. Below deck, you've got an entire horse ranch if you want to, so you can keep your horses alive.
3 swimming pools, one with salt water,
and the other one filled with nuclear waste, so that you too can have that nuclear burn. Currently, if you wanted to buy a bunker, and this is based off of today's rates, so this includes inflation, okay? You're looking at close to $100,000 investment, okay? For peace of mind, I suppose, right? There's a company that's out there that offers a base model from $79K up to $10 million. Do you want to know what $10 million gets you?
No. Yeah.
Well, that's the end of the episode. I will see you, and we'll see you later.
Bye, guys.
Fucking hell, mate. Come on, you're supposed to go with me. Say it's a yes-and situation, Sergio.
Well, every time I say yes, then
I call you an idiot. All right, so
I'm a beaten dog over here.
So I'm going to read off the listing of the Aristocrat, which is a underground bunker that you can get through this company. I'm not going to give them free press because they're fucking crazy Christian people. Features: above ground safe entry, enough to sleep 50 people. Why would you want 50 people? I can't even, like, be in the same home with more than 5 people at a time. If 50 people are in there, I'm going on a shooting rampage in my bunker. Like, I just can't, like, I can't promise that some people aren't going to end up getting thrown out into the nuclear wasteland. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm just saying, what if you're a Latter-day Saint and you have your, like, 40 wives with you?
Yeah, that's true. FLDS too. Goddamn. So 5 individual residence bunkers, 9 private bedrooms with queen beds. Which, by the way, that's
queen. Can't we get a king?
Yeah, exactly. I'm willing. If I'm
California,
if I'm paying $10 million, give me a king. That's all I'm saying. 10 bunk style beds, 8 jackknife sleeper sofas, 5 bathrooms with showers, custom floors, cabinets, custom kitchen, greenhouse, 20 by 50 feet, which is a large greenhouse, by the way.
That's huge.
That's a huge greenhouse. Gym and fitness center, garage, a workshop, formal dining area, a bowling alley, a hot sauna, a media room, security systems, blah, blah, blah. So that's 10 million. 10 million will get you that in this economy.
God, where is it? Like in the middle of Oklahoma?
Anywhere you want it to be.
What? They just trench it out and then just build you an
They will come
bunker?
they'll come to wherever you're at, and they will trench out. They will dig it all out and do all the work for you. So it's like a one-stop shop if you wanted to get yourself a bunker.
Hey, maybe
are you into that?
I mean, maybe we should just do a GoFundMe.
So,
and
folks,
then we could just
exactly what I was going to say. Folks, if you want to help us have an underground bunker, so you can join us during the great struggle.
Yeah, we can just continue to live pod and let you guys bring all this content that you need and desire.
Yeah, you can, if you wanted to, you could leave us a note on our Gmail account if you wanted to at The Extremes, or you can hit us up on Twitter at The Extremes Pod. Mm-hmm. But you know, Sergio, I don't want to leave the show without giving you a chance and an opportunity to have a chat about, you know, how this affected you, like what your final thoughts are on this episode.
Well, I just think, like, again, every time that we talk about this, it just goes through different. I go through different feelings. You know, I go through completely disgusted to, all right, well, I mean, there's some relatable things that you know, that I can see, but I think it just kind of goes back to with us just refocusing on, this is the kind of content that's out there and it's popular. This isn't, you know, the one or two weird, you know, guys that you know at work or whatever that are into it. This is
tens of millions of dollars
subculture of people that have these kind of views that, you know, are now easily connected with, you know, social media, the internet. And it's really terrifying. I think the thing that scared me the most from this was him gearing up to go to Portland, and just the amount of weaponry that he had on his body and
you
his
really
backpack.
couldn't tell that was even there.
No, it wasn't. He had a huge gun poking out of his backpack, or, you know, the side. I mean, it was all concealed.
Yeah,
that shit's fucking freaky.
A foldable stock, ready to be loaded. I mean, he had green tips and a 60-round, you know, mag. Blah blah blah. It's fucking terrifying.
Exactly. And to know that this is stuff, you know, I guess I relate it to myself, but I work in a school, and knowing that kids can just buy shit like this really easy now. Yeah. And it's not a lot of sophistication to, you know, use the internet to buy stuff.
You can get a 3D printer and do it.
Yeah. And then they have the automatic, what is the little clip that they use on the back of it that makes things semi-automatic? Yep. That the Supreme Court just said, bump stocks.
Yep.
Yeah,
totally fine.
They can't be illegal. You
totally
can't do that.
It's totally fine. In America, you're free to kill as many people as you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God bless the USA. Yeah, well, this depressed me, man.
Yeah,
this was
a rough one.
It's
a rough one.
I'm in my feelings.
Yeah, no, it's a rough one, and you know, if you made it this far, we appreciate you carrying through with us. Like I said, you know, it was kind of like a harsh transition earlier, but actually, I'll just drop that out completely from the recording, and I'll just put it here instead. I think that's where we're going to leave it, though.
Yeah,
I think that we've covered a lot of ground in the last couple of episodes, and a lot of it's, you know, some of it's like, oh man, I feel really bad for this guy, like you were saying. And then some of it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, like this is the world we live in. And these people are like, they're your neighbors. Mm-hmm.
And we don't even know how genuine they are with it. Like if they're going to be the people that are actually going to be out there, if they're just trying to make as much money as possible and notoriety.
So like, if you remember when Lil Wayne went to jail, remember that? Like, cause he was like his early, like the Carter one, he never used the N-word. He didn't curse at all. Like he was like straight laced as fuck. But in order to get street cred, he ended up going to jail. Mm-hmm. Cody's the exact same thing, but for like the January 6th crowd. You know what I mean? Like he has no street cred until he gets himself into a physical battle. Mm-hmm. And so when he's gearing up to go out to Portland, like to your point, like he's looking to gain some kind of authenticity. That's how I think about this, at least.
Some cachet.
Yeah, like, oh, well, they don't think I'm fucking real. I'll go out here with a couple of guns. And if I got to pull a gun out on somebody.
I mean, I don't want to jump to the future, but is there videos of him confronting and getting super aggro?
Apparently there were videos that are no longer available. I can't find them. There are videos of him going through Portland, apparently, that I cannot find. I've looked high and low. I have looked on
at the extreme. Send us these videos. We need you super sleuths to be able to find this and to show it to us so that we can post it.
Yeah, I do plan on putting this to the anti-Wranglerstar subreddit after we get all of, like, the whole series published, and then like see if they can help us out a little bit, because I think there is, like, I mean, like, if we were to be honest, I think we could do an entire podcast just on this guy alone. Like, I genuinely do. I think, like, he's just got so much material out there that is so toxic in so many different ways. And I don't want to take away from that community of, like, preppers. Like, there are peaceful people out there. Like, there are. And I'm not taking away from those folks. Like, there's an entire YouTube channel about this one guy and gal who work together, and they're a collective, and they honor each other, and they take care of each other, and, like, no one's got, like, there's, like, the power dynamic isn't, at least if there is one, it's not evident in their videos, and they do a really good job of showing you how to, like, navigate a homestead, and there's no aggro to it. But with Cody, he is just this. This is who he is. This is who he is.
I mean, he is definitely creating a foundation for some kind of really bad thing to happen.
He's an Alex Jones. He's an Alex Jones without the charisma.
I don't know if Alex Jones has that much charisma.
Oh, dude. We're going to get into him one day. I have an entire... We're going to leave it. We'll leave that there.
See you guys.
Anyway, so Cody's views on women. That's what we're going to discuss next, coming up. His views on women and men and their relationship as how they're supposed to operate together. But I will leave you with this earworm. But until next time, folks, I'm Greg.
I'm Sergio.
And this has been the old At the Extreme show. But if you want to talk to us about something, find us on our Gmail account, attheextremes@gmail.com, or you can reach out to us on Twitter, @theextremespod. Until next time, beloved.
Don't at me, bro.
Don't at me, because I'll send a robot to your house with an M16 and a fucking whole flamethrower.
I have one that just shoots dildos at you.
Ding dong. I love that.
Beep, beep.
Act appropriately.